The Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier trilogy is the fight that we've all expected to be coming any time now, recently in the MMA community. That's the fight to happen next for the heavyweight title. I thought we're all on the same page here. Until recently, Stipe Miocic came out and said that maybe the Daniel Cormier fight won't be next, and he's open to options, and he's open to ideas, and he'll see what happens. Apparently, he's still waiting for his eye to be fully healed. He's got the clear for training, but I'm sure he wants some time to acclimatise to the gym again, get back in shape and get back to work, which is only fair. He's the heavyweight champion of the world. He should be given some time before he wants to defend his title. I understand. Either way, I thought it was very interesting because I think the only fight to make right now is the trilogy. We can't have waited this long for the trilogy specifically. Ngannou's taken a fight in the meantime under the assumption that the trilogy's going to be happening. So you can't fuck over Ngannou, who's made a choice based on what the heavyweight title is going to be doing in a few months. Like, it'd kind of be a fuckery if we don't get to see the trilogy at this point. And Stipe Miocic has come out and said some things. I don't put too much weight behind it. And DC has had a response to this, by the way, which we'll get over in a second. However, I don't put too much weight behind Stipe Miocic's response about wanting to keep his options open. It's what he would say. You know, it's what Stipe Miocic would say. He wants some more time to train, to get back in the gym, and to be honest with you, rightfully so. It's not like he got punched in the eye and injured. I mean, DC poked him in the eye about 10 fucking times. You're the one complaining about him not recovering in time from your eye pokes, DC? That's not really an argument. Like, DC should be like, I'm sorry, like, take as much time as you want. I won't fucking eye poke you again. But that's not the approach that DC has taken. He's chosen to say stuff like, you're a good man, so do the good thing and give me my trilogy like I gave you your rematch. Steady on there, DC. Let's pump the brakes a little bit, because if you'll remember correctly, you fought Derek Lewis in the meantime, which I understand was on short notice to save the UFC 230 event, which had no main event, like 2 weeks out from the fight actually being there, which was fucking crazy, to be honest with you. That was a whole crazy scenario. But even then, after the Derek Lewis fight, he wanted Brock Lesnar. And the only reason he took the Stipe Miocic rematch was because Brock Lesnar wasn't going to come back and fight him. And that was the whole situation. So I feel like DC's going down this path of saying, like, as soon as he beat Stipe, he was like, right, well, I've got to give Stipe the rematch. It's my honour to give Stipe the rematch. When in reality, you had your options. You tried your options as the heavyweight champion. Just because none of them accepted you doesn't make it that you've done the right thing to now resort to your fucking side piece, Stipe Miocic, as a rematch. I feel like he's maybe coming at this from a weird angle. I know he wants his trilogy. I want to see the trilogy as well, but I mean, it's a little bit of a taste of your own medicine, to be honest with you, Daniel Cormier. Stipe Miocic had to wait a fucking year for his rematch, okay? That's how long you made him wait. Little bit of your own medicine maybe isn't a bad thing. I would still love to see the trilogy. That's the fight I want to see next. I mean, with Ngannou booked against Rosenstruik in April, and then you've got Curtis Blades, who hasn't quite earned a title shot, having a big win over JDS. He's going to need some time off, I'm sure, or to take another fight in the meantime. But right now, you've got to make the trilogy. We've made the division hold up enough specifically for this trilogy. We can't just back out of the trilogy at this point. I would love to see the fight happen. I actually like DC's chances in the fight because Stipe Miocic, really bad fucking eye injury, hasn't been able to train too well, I'm sure. Hasn't been able to train during his time off. I know DC had a back surgery that he went through, and that gave him some time off, but he's been back in the gym for a little while now. I look forward to the trilogy. I just feel like DC's coming at this from a wrong angle. Like, he's a little bit bitter, to be honest with you. And you could see it on his face when Blades is calling for the title shot. Like, there was like a change. Like, okay, well, everyone calm down again. Like, this is my title shot, okay? I've earned this. I've always found it weird. I hate trilogies. I hate rematches for the title. They just hold up the division so much. But we've waited long enough, so I'm willing to follow through with our plan. I'm not going to bail on this trilogy idea now that it's been a little while. Let Stipe have his fucking rest. You gouged his fucking eyes out, DC, 10 times over in the second fight. He beat you. Let him just relax for a little bit, okay? Let him douse out some fires, save some burning children, you know? Probably take a nice little flight to Australia, help out over there. Let him do fireman shit. And then he'll come back when he's ready and his eyes feeling better, okay? DC seems to be, really getting agitated about Stipe not giving him the title shot back. And I remember a very specific headline, actually. DC said that he gave Stipe the rematch because he thought he deserved it. And it was the right thing to do. First of all, I've disproved that with the whole Brock Lesnar thing and him wanting to have options other than Stipe Miocic rematch. But he also put out an article specifically with a quote of him saying that he doesn't like Stipe. He doesn't want to give Stipe the rematch because he felt like he deserved it. Stipe was acting like he deserved the rematch, and DC didn't like that. So he didn't want to give him the rematch at first, if you remember correctly. A whole weird... To be honest with you, this just builds dialogue for the fight. It's made me make this video. I'm looking forward to the trilogy so we can finally put this thing to the rest. I feel like Dana White's mindset about the fight has completely changed. You know damn well, during the first fight and the rematch, Dana wanted DC to win. But now that DC's saying that he wants to retire after this, Dana's team Miocic... OH! You know what I'm saying? Like, he's on board with Stipe Miocic right now because he knows if DC's having one fight left and he beats Stipe Miocic and drops the fucking belt like GSP and ruins a fucking division underneath him by doing so, because a lot of people don't talk about that, but that was the limbo that the middleweight division was in. And I feel like it's one of the big things that Whittaker didn't get the popularity that he deserved. Because one thing people want to see is the champion lose their belt. That's the coming out party for the contender. The new champion's here, everyone. And when a guy is champion and retires with the belt and just leaves it there, there's no satisfaction to the new contender taking the title. It's just like, oh, well, here you go. Next best person in the world. You can be champion. Whatever. It's like when DC was champ while John Jones was out. Leaves it in a sour position. I don't know why I use sour as an adjective there, but it worked, to be honest with you. It was a good use of vocabulary, I think. But yeah, I want to see the trilogy next. I actually favour DC a little bit, but I'm still going to bet on Stipe Miocic here. I think he's going to get the job done. I wouldn't be surprised if he was still the underdog. I just think we saw the aging process of DC in the second fight. Can't quite go at the pace that he once did. I know there was a lot of things about, he should have shot more takedowns, but to be fair to him, he tried, and they got stuffed. And he got taken down himself by Stipe Miocic, if you remember. It's not like he wasn't trying to wrestle. And then there's other plans, like keep your fucking hands up. But then again, his hands down were working while it was working. It's all good and well saying, he should have kept his hands up. But he had him down and he was fucking peppering away Stipe Miocic for 3 rounds pretty much. Until Miocic found that body shot. I would bet on Miocic beating DC a little bit sooner. Especially with DC's recent back surgery. I feel like it's a hard thing to recover from when you're fucking 60 years of age like DC is. It's a tough thing to bet on, you know. Especially when you're a wrestler. Go through back surgery that late in your career and you're coming back for retirement talks. Again, when you say the word retirement as a fighter, I worry. Okay? And DC was talking about retirement before the Stipe Miocic rematch. And look what happened. It's tough. It's really tough to get behind DC right now. I like Stipe Miocic's chances in the trilogy. I feel like him coming in a bit lighter in the rematch favoured him in those later rounds. I feel like it would favour him again. And I also think if Herb Dean or whoever's reffing this shit doesn't allow 10 illegal fucking eye pokes in the first and second round, Miocic is probably going to beat him in the third rather than the fourth. So that's my bet. Prediction, Stipe Miocic. He already knows about the body shot weakness right now. I know DC's going to try and address it, but I mean, Stipe's found the fucking weak spot there. You know, you're not, at DC's age, you're not going to be able to cover up a vast hole in your game. And we've seen that with DC before. I remember years before the John Jones fight, DC was aware that he was open for the head kick. John Jones even said, I know your weakness, and DC said back to him, you're not going to kick me in your head with your left leg. That's not going to happen. I know that weakness. Habits come out in a fight. I feel like now that Stipe Miocic knows the blueprint and knows what works, he's going to go to that well in the second round, in the first round, rather than the fourth. And that finish is going to come a little bit sooner. I look forward to it. I really do. I think Stipe Miocic would beat him in the third round. Great fight. Needs to happen next. We've waited long enough for it. We fucked over Ngannou. Ngannou took a Rosenstruik fight for this. Okay? Because he thought the trilogy was happening and he had no chance of a title shot. If he had known that Stipe Miocic was open to options, maybe he wouldn't have taken on a killer like Rosenstruik. Do it for Ngannou, okay? Because Ngannou was always my friend. And that's the difference between me and Dana White, okay? I'm rooting for him. And it would be a very sad thing if Curtis Blades were to get a title shot right now against Stipe, because the trilogy ain't happening. It's got to happen. Stop the lollygagging. Okay, that's a little English terminology there. Sort your eyes out, Stipe, and let's get back to work. Trilogy in UFC 251. I feel like that makes the most sense. UFC 251 would be so good if it was this. Listen, I think we've established that McGregor ain't fighting Masvidal. He's probably fighting Gaethje or Nate Diaz. Probably going to be Gaethje by my standards. I think it's going to be Gaethje. We're looking at Masvidal Usman, co-main event. Miocic DC Trilogy, main event. UFC 251. Let's make it happen. I know people would want to see Masvidal Usman as the main event, but they're heavyweights, so they go at the top. It always happens. I know we don't agree with it, but it always happens. Masvidal Usman, co-main event. Big fucking card for UFC 251. Let's make it happen. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button there. Good fucking bye.